good evening everybody. This is Stephanie from the Activation Products social media team. I have a very special guest here today who I will introduce in a minute. It is a cool, chilly fall day up here in Canada. Beautiful colors, but I hate to be the one to tell you that we are sadly getting closer to shorter days, longer nights, colder weather, and if you're like me, fall and winter can really get you down, can really, I get sick a lot is what I'm trying to say essentially. So if you really want to kick winter in the behind, like it does to you sometimes, a special guest is here to help you with that today. So Sarah, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, I am Sarah Whiteman. I am here at She Thrives, an innovative wellness center for women. I am the registered massage therapist as well as the registered yoga teacher. So I'm here with Steph and I'm super excited to share yoga with you.
Great. So yes, we are doing yoga today. What specifically are we focusing on today, Sarah?
So today we're doing a little beat the winter blues. So unfortunately, yes, like Steph said, we're moving into colder season and I am the worst for it. Like as soon as it gets cold and the days get shorter and darker, I want to be in bed all the time. I don't want to move and groove, which is naturally what your body wants to do, is just shut down. But you need to get it up and moving and yeah, fight it.
So we're not hibernating this year apparently.
No, we're doing yoga this year.
Awesome.
It's gonna be amazing.
Okay, great. So I haven't done yoga before. I'm sorry, Sarah. Don't. Yeah, it's a little embarrassing for me to admit. So what skill level do I have to be at to do yoga?
If you can breathe and you can blink and you can sort of move, then you can do yoga.
All right.
So I feel like you're good. I feel like you're good.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So I am obviously at a wellness center right now. There's yoga here.
Yes.
Is that the only place I can do yoga though?
You can do yoga anywhere. You can do it in your bed when you're getting ready in the morning before you fall asleep. You can do it on the drive to work. If you're at a red light, you can just bring your chin into your chest. You can move your shoulder or your ear over to your shoulder. You can do little movements that every day you kind of have these opportunities, like standing in line at a grocery store, practicing your mountain pose, so just standing tall. So little moments every day where you can do yoga. So obviously you're not going to be doing like tree pose and like these big crazy movements in public, but yeah, just knowing that there are movements that you can do, and it's not specific to a yoga class at all.
Awesome. Great. So everybody watching right now, you can do this too. Feel free to get up with us and do these yoga moves that Sarah is about to teach me. I gotta admit, I'm not a great balance. I'm not a great balancer.
That's okay. You're gonna try. That's all that
I'm
matters.
gonna try, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do some yoga poses. You're welcome to join along or save this video for later and come back to it when you need it. So Sarah, you're going to show a pose and talk about what it does.
Yeah, we're going to do the pose. We're going to walk you through if you need a modification, how it's feeling in the body. I have a few affirmations, which is nice, kind of like positive reinforcement that you can use or not use. It's totally up to you. And then, yeah, the benefits of each pose.
All right, you guys ready? Yeah. Let's do this.
Okay. All right, so like I said, you can do yoga anywhere. So if you have a mat, amazing. You can grab a mat. You can grab a beach towel. I'm not going to use a mat just to show you that you don't need a mat.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people get concerned when it's like, oh, I'm not flexible. I don't have a mat. I can't do this. I can't, like any kind of like excuse that they're not used to seeing maybe. So yeah, no, yoga is for everyone, everywhere, everybody. And yeah, let's do yoga.
Let's do it.
Okay, so our first pose is Tadasana, which is our mountain pose.
Okay.
So you can come, find a nice stance on your mat or on your floor, wherever you are. Feet are going to be gently underneath the hips. I like to have mine a little bit wider, helps with balance. If you're feeling super sassy and very good with balance today, maybe you want to bring your feet in a little bit closer.
Okay.
So, feet nice and spread open, feeling the weight in the fronts, the backs, the inside, outside edges of the feet. You can rock back and forth a couple of times, just getting used to where you kind of feel that center of gravity. Keeping the shoulders down, hands again can be out, palms can be facing out, very receptive gesture. Or if you like, you can have the hands in a little bit closer. Some people like to be, a little closer to themselves, makes them feel more grounded. So after rocking back and forth a couple times, you'll kind of start to slow down, feel that nice sweet spot where the weight feels nice and centered underneath the body. Knees can be gently bent. You can have a soft gaze. You can close your eyes if that feels safe. And you're going to take a nice big inhale here. Inhaling through the nose, exhale, you can sigh out through the mouth. And just really coming into this pose, feeling nice and grounded. The nice affirmation for this pose is I face life's challenges with an open heart. So as you inhale, again, gaze can be soft, or eyes can be closed. Inhaling, I face life's challenges with an open heart. Exhaling to release any tension. Beautiful. So that is our first pose, Tadasana, mountain pose.
We did it.
Ta-da!
Yes.
All right, so from Tadasana pose, we'll come into tree pose. So this is our nice balancing pose.
Oh, geez.
So if you don't have balance or you struggle with balance, rest assured there is a modification for this pose for you. So tree pose, you can either have your hands at heart if that feels good, at your hips if that feels better. You can have them in an airplane mode if that feels good.
Or you
can hold onto a wall, you can hold onto a chair. It's totally up to you, whatever you need. So you're gonna lift your right heel off the ground. So your right toes are still planted in the earth. So placing your hands wherever you need to feel comfortable. You're gonna open up that knee to the side, and you can rest that right ankle, that right heel right against either the left ankle or left shin, kind of wherever it falls. So this is your first version of tree pose. So we're balancing.
Oh, I'm doing it.
It may not look as like majestic as you're used to seeing, but this is a version of tree pose that is more accessible to people. So the center of gravity is off because both feet aren't planted firmly because you're on the toes. So you're still balancing.
Nice. We're doing it, folks.
We're doing it. So you can take a couple breaths here, and if that feels good, you can try to slowly start to move that foot up just below the kneecap, so it will be on the calf. Yes, yes.
Believe it or not, I am straight right now.
It's happening. So the most important thing to work on with these balancing poses, really imagine the inner thighs engaging and pulling towards one another. So really engaging that inner body, bringing everything into the midline of the body. Finding a focal point, or a drishti, what we call it in yoga and Sanskrit. So drishti is a focal point, so something in the room that isn't moving. I'm looking out at Facebook Live. So this helps with balance. All right, so from this, if that feels good and you want to try a little bit more, you're really going to engage that core, bring in the inner body together, lift the leg up as high as you can, grab onto either ankle or shin, and tuck that foot right into the inner thigh.
All right.
So again, 3 different ways to do tree. This may look like the most standard way that people are aware of or practice at home, but they're kind of like falling all over the place, but they're like, gotta stick that tree pose. And if you can't, that's okay. You can let that go and come back down to the earth and know that is still tree.
Okay.
So the goal of yoga really is to find strength and stability and ease in each pose.
Okay.
So yes, you may be able to hold this pose for, 2 seconds, but is it strong? Does it feel easy?
No.
And is it comfortable in your body? So if the answer is no, scratch it and go back to a level that you can do. And then you'll slowly build your way up.
All right.
All right. So tree pose. After tree pose, we're coming into warrior 2.
Okay.
So we're going to take a nice big step back with the right foot. And we're going to come into a little bit of a lunge here on the left foot. So really engaging that left quad, building strength, stability. This is going to start to get the heart pumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so arms can come out if that feels good. So you're going to face that front left knee. Beautiful. All right, shoulders down, core nice and strong.
Oh, this actually feels pretty good.
Yeah? Good. So if this doesn't feel good with the arms out, if there's any shoulder issues, you can cross the hands at the heart if that feels good. Hands can be at hips.
All right.
And then if the neck too is an issue, you can always look to the other side of the room. So lots of different variations as long as the base is nice and strong and stable.
All right, feels good.
Good, so this is our warrior 2. So from our warrior 2, we're going to start to straighten through that front left leg. And then we're going to lean towards the left toe. So reaching, hinge. And then coming down and opening into our triangle pose.
Okay.
So this pose actually helps to stimulate the kidneys and the adrenals.
Ooh.
Fun fact. So really trying to get strength from the side obliques. So really not sinking into this pose,
really trying to grow up nice and tall.
Okay.
Creating a nice big line here. Imagine that you're in between two panes of glass.
That's a great stretch.
Right?
Wow.
So from our triangle, slowly coming back through the warrior two, so bending back into that left leg.
Okay.
Amazing. And then we're gonna step forward.
Okay.
That might have been the hardest part.
Yeah, right. I think I did that
I
previously.
know.
I
And then you would
thought
do the same on the other side. So
Okay.
I don't know if you want to do the same on the other side.
Sure, let's do
Yeah,
it
let's
again.
balance this out. Okay, so again, coming into tree, finding your best version of tree. So again, hands can be at the heart, hands can be at the hips, they can be out in airplane mode, whatever feels best. So left heel peels up off of the earth, resting against the right shin. Tree pose, nailing it. Balance is on.
Got it. We're doing this.
If that feels good, maybe lifting it up just below the kneecap. Again, very important to lift it either below or above the kneecap, not on the knee joint, because the knee does not go this way. It tracks this way.
Right,
So if we're pushing weight against it, it will not be good. I'm an
Okay.
RMT, but I can't fix bone stuff. So our tree pose here, and if that feels amazing, you can lift the leg all the way up and tuck the left foot in towards the right thigh. Again, inner body, squeezing together, using all those muscles, the strength, amazing. And hands wherever you fancy. You move around, have a nice forest.
Oh, geez.
And then slowly
Mini
exhale,
forest.
releasing everything down, shaking it out if you need to. Sometimes the muscles get tense.
Yep, that feels good too.
And then a big step back with the left foot. So coming into warrior on the right side.
Alright.
So left foot takes a nice big step back. Arms can extend out if that feels good.
Okay.
Really focusing on the base, and again, watching the knees. So this is a huge thing in yoga. Sometimes our knees, I'll face this way, can start to track in,
Okay.
which is not good. That is not the flow of the body. That's not how it should be happening. So really almost like imagining a candy cane. Winter time, it's coming.
Oh,
So
I see it
candy
there.
cane the thigh. So imagine that we're really rotating that inner thigh out so that the knee is tracking over the toes. And then it's not dipping in. That'll
Okay.
save your knee.
Does that strengthen the leg too?
Oh yeah, totally. So let your knee kind of bend in.
Oh, that's way easier.
Right? So strain there. And
Okay.
then as you kind of rotate out,
Okay.
you're going to feel it more in the glute, the outer
Oh,
thigh.
nice.
Legs for
Just
days.
what we want to be
Legs
talking.
for days.
All
All
right.
right, so then from our warrior two, we're going to start to straighten through that front
Yep.
right knee, hinging at the hips, leaning forward, imagine someone's pulling you by the right hand, and then coming down into triangle pose.
Oh yeah.
So good thing with triangle too, yoga blocks, if you have them, you can use a stool, whatever you have at home, something to bring the earth a little bit closer to you. So if you
Okay.
find that you're really struggling, I mean, I rest my hand on my calf, but that's a lot of kind of oblique stuff too that you're
Okay.
working on. So some people have, I have T-Rex arms, so they don't ever reach the ground, and if they do, I start to compromise the pose. So a great option is to grab a block or a stool or something to just bring the earth a little bit closer to you.
But it doesn't have to be one of these.
Doesn't have to be a
blocks.
fancy phone block, it can be a phone book, it can be a backpack, it can be anything that's stable that you can rest your
All
head.
right.
All right, so then coming back into our warrior two, and then taking a nice big step up, shaking it out, removing the block, and then we're coming into our down dog pose, so our
Okay.
inversion pose. So I'm going to face this way.
All right.
We're going to take a forward fold, and again, just as far as you're comfortable. So obviously for me, I can touch the floor, awesome.
So just bend
Can't
forward.
watch or can't touch the floor, that's fine too. So whatever you kind of have, you're slowly going to bend the knees as much as you need to. So if you can't straight leg it, come all the way down, bending the knees as much as you need to. And then you're going to step the feet back into a downward facing dog.
All right. So just kind of
So-
push back.
Yeah, push the hips up and back into our upside down V shape. So this is our downward dog. So really focusing on this pose to really relax the shoulders, relax the head and neck, keeping strength in through the wrists, feeling equal weight in the hands as well as the feet. Not worrying too much if the heels are touching the ground. That's not a huge ordeal. If it's super important to you, you can always walk the legs in closer to the body. But otherwise, yeah, just really focusing on engaging that core, keeping the gaze between the knees or even up at the belly button, just to really lengthen that neck.
Now this one feels really nice too. What health benefits does this one have? Do you know any?
So this is a great one for relieving kind of like that mental fog, because as the body inverts, the blood now begins to rush down to the head.
Oh, that's
so caution though with this one, if you have high blood pressure, that's something to be very cautious of if it's not controlled with medication, because we're reversing the flow of blood. But if you're clear and that's fine, as the blood rushes down, we're creating new blood, which is amazing. So when we come back up and then the blood comes back down, you're more aware. It's a sharper pose, if you will.
All right.
So for down dog, if it doesn't feel super awesome, we can come into the next pose, add some modifications. So you're going to come down to knees.
Okay.
So from hands and knees, we're going to sit the hips back towards the heels. And then allow the head to rest down to the ground with the arms extended.
Okay.
So this is our child's pose. So this is really good again. So it's a lighter inversion, so we're not as intense. Really good to release the head and neck. And then as well, so sometimes as we reach down in our child's pose, our bums are more up in the air. So we can grab a handy block, place it between the bum and the heels, and again, bringing the earth closer to us. And then again, creating a little bit more too of an inversion there. So this is a really nice alternative, and it's also a very nice resting pose. So
I can do this one.
Right? I know. So some yoga classes sometimes can get pretty intense.
Yeah.
So knowing that this is a nice, safe option, if it's like, I need a timeout to come into child's pose, to catch your breath, to relax. Yeah. So
I like this one.
Yeah, child's pose is a winner for sure.
I think I found my pose.
It's a good one. All right, and then our final pose is the classic Shavasana corpse pose.
Okay.
Usually at the end, sometimes at the beginning of the class. So, super simple. You can lay right down onto your back.
Oh, nice.
I know, it's the sleeping pose. This is a pose, who would have thought? So legs can be nice and long, the arms can flop beside you. I always say that this is the perfect time to take up space. So many times in our life I feel that everything is so small, we're all so tight, it's just us against the world. This is really your chance to take up the space that is rightfully yours. So claim your space. The legs can be as wide as you'd like, the arms can be as wide as you'd like, whatever feels good. Another nice option if you have low back issues is when you're laying on the ground, is to bend the knees, place the soles of the feet on the earth, and make them as wide as your yoga mat, or just a little bit wider than your hip if you're not using a mat. Then allow the knees to drift in towards each other, and that'll help alleviate any stress on the low back. So another nice option.
Wow, that feels great.
Yeah.
All right, great. So that was yoga for beating the winter blues.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Let's go back up and talk to our people. If anyone has any questions about any of the yoga poses we just covered, please ask us below. Sarah, do you have any general tips that you want to give our audience?
Being really mindful and gentle with your body. I think a lot of the times, especially when we're seeing certain poses, it's like, gotta do it, gotta get into it, and not forcing your body. Your body knows what it wants and what it doesn't want. So just being willing to set aside a little bit of time each day to work on these poses. And then being gentle with yourself and really allowing yourself a few breaths to get into the pose, not just trying to shove your body into a position that, doesn't maybe make sense.
Don't pretzel right away.
Don't be a pretzel right away. I've been doing this for years and I'm still not a pretzel.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, and as we learned today, anyone can do it. There's some really nice poses in there to help you beat those winter blues. Now, I would like to ask you, what is one thing this winter you could do without? Is it soreness, whether it be joints and muscle pain? Is it general stiffness that you get? Maybe you have arthritis or other issues that make parts of your body stiff, lower back problems like Sarah had just talked about. Do you have a touch of do you get a touch of seasonal depression, SAD as it's called? Or are you like me? Do you get sick when the person 3 houses down sneezes? Because I always do. I am sick all winter. Is your immune system a little bit weak? Tell us your answer in the comment section below. Again, this is Sarah Whiteman who taught us some yoga today. Thank you so much for being here with us. Did you have anything else to say, Sarah?
Everyone do yoga. Just do it.
Just do it.
Even if it's just Shavasana, even if it's just laying down, you're doing yoga.
You're doing
and focus
yoga.
on your breath.
Okay, great. So what is the saying that you say at the end of a yoga class? Let's do that.
Our saying, we bring our hands to our heart, and it basically translates into the light and love in me sees and honors the light and love in you.
Oh, that's nice.
And that we are all one.
All right.
The phrase is namaste.
Namaste. All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye now.